that I enjoyed.
Welcome back to HGC North America, where we are in the series where I remember their name. It's Roll20, and Naventic are going head-to-head. It's an even one.
Yeah,
and
it very much is.
It's... I don't know how to describe it, to be frank. It's just weird where we have found ourselves. And it's only going to get weirder because I actually cheated, and I saw the next map, and there's a lot to say about that. We've even got the graphic. Look at that. Production saving me here. Battlefield of Eternity. This was a map that almost never saw play until Naventic make it popular. Then Roll20 has kind of been the king of BOE recently compared to the rest of North America.
They chose it. They chose the map.
I mean, I give the advantage definitely to Roll20 because they've been more recently the dominant team. But it is strange for Naventic showing, you know, signs of life of like a, hey, we remember how to play this video game at the top level. Now it's like, do you really want to test the waters there?
But with Naventic, the last season, wasn't it always a very motivational issue as well for them? In a lot of games where there was something on the line, where it was a bit of a grudge match, they all of a sudden showed a completely different performance. Now they have an arguably even stronger squad, so it feels if they have the motivation that this is finally what they are what they're willing to show and able to show.
That's a good point. You know, because it was. I don't know if I necessarily, nor even if they have like a sole focus here, but I would definitely agree with you. They played up to their opponent whenever, especially if they had a reason to not want them to win. And here it is here. Naventic here has gotten rid of the Genji. Uther has been removed by Roll20. Nothing surprising. So what do we see as the first?
Okay, so Nubarak first pick into Stitches, and we had a Dehaka already. I want something new.
You know, it's going to happen over and over again. Dehaka
they actually switched it.
The bee's knees in North America. We love it, especially on maps like BOE.
No Stitches right now.
No Stitches.
It's still a good Stitches map, though, so they could if they wanted to. But Naventic starting things off with a Tacita again, so we could arguably just heading into any kind of...
I'm going with the Tracer. Big E's Tracer is actually... Well, now he'd be supporting. Feels bad, man. Now I don't know what to say.
What about... Give me an Oriole now. I like the kid on Karazim, don't get me wrong, but I would really like to see something different at this point. I feel if you combo the Tacita with an Oriole here and you get a good Iber carry behind it, get the Lunara in, get the Vala in, Vala in particular because of the objective, then you have a very, very solid opening into this.
I agree. I want like an Oriole Vala, or I want like a Mouth Tracer. Like, commit with the Tassadar. I don't mind the Malfurion, again, on this map, and having Tassadar to help with the burst healing.
Or you just start with the Anubarak again, and then pick X. Either you go into the Oriole, you still have the options for Hyper Carry then later.
They go Malthael and Anubarak.
I'm fine with that too. Right now, I'm still in that state where I oftentimes forget that Malthael exists. Exactly. Yep. I'm looking at this and I'm just like so in the zone that I want Malthael. I talk about I want Malthael, but then when I actually look at a potential pick on one of the positions, I completely blank on him.
That's like, I'm going to put that into like the one of like 5 things I've learned in the world of commentary is just a frequent phenomenon. Like where you talk about something that you assume you're going to see, and then eventually you just get your trust taken, you know, it just stabs at you. 5 games deep, we didn't see a single Malthael in North America, not even paid attention to, and then suddenly you see the first game, you're like, oh, Malthael, and then the next game happens, and you're like, Malthael doesn't exist. I do it so stinking much, it's stupid.
And he's so great on this map. We talked about this map actually just half an hour ago or something. So he's fantastic because his trait applies to the Immortal as well. So whenever you leave him alone at the Immortal just for a bit, he's like a Lunara. He pokes away at it constantly and he can solo that thing easily. But Roll20 is actually looking at that comp that Naventic plays right now and says, what are we afraid of? Tacita plus Aurea? Yeah, we don't really want that.
You know, the ban on the Alarak, I don't hate purely because of the map. On Battlefield of Eternity, if you've seen Roll20 pick Alarak on Dragon and Tomb, they're more than comfortable to run it on a map where he actually accents it. And so I don't mind the ban. I don't look at it as like mind-bogglingly good, but it's just like, I can see the argument.
So we're probably going to see the Rhaegar again being picked, and then Naventic is going into Karazim. Do I have that right?
Medivh.
Oh, I like that.
You missed the Medivh factor here in the mouth. So the variables in which Roll20 needs the Medivh, they need a Dehaka and Malfurion for the CC porta play. They personally, you know, that was a lot of P's, but they personally feel like it is not necessarily a must-need have, but it's very good whenever they can get it.
Naventic has options now. There's more than Karazim available to them.
There is, and there's more than just a Vala available to them as well. If they want to, I like, you know, they can go the Lunara, they can go.
I like the Vala still.
The Vala, they can go. I like the Vala a lot more now compared to every other option because of the Medivh pick.
Rhaegar and Vala right now, great.
Kharazim, I think, is almost inevitably going to be picked. Even here, just because of the map and because of the team. Naventic has been one of the teams, maybe that was a Kenma thing and I'm wrong, but even in phase number 1, they liked the Kharazim higher than most supports on a map like Battlefield because Iron Fist is pretty dope on the race.
Yeah, so is Lightning Bundle. And I think the heal that you get out of it is pretty decent.
I'm always for some Rhaegar.
I mean, if you get the palm through all reliably, but yeah, so we have Rhaegar taken and the Lunara. I'm okay with that too. As we said, either you pick the Vala or you pick the Lunara. Personally, I would have preferred the Vala, but that's a personal preference. Lunara, absolutely fine here.
Yeah, actually, Naventic almost 100% will take Nature's Calling. They, like, when Nature's Calling was nerfed, they straight up were like, we actually still like this talent and still use it. And still in modern day, it is more picked from them when Lunara is picked. They take Nature's Calling than they do with the Splintered Spear. And I expect to see that here. They like a 1-4 split, and then stacking that on top of Malthael with the poke that he provides.
Sounds really silly.
They literally just touch an Immortal and then go, look all of its health die. And they're just going to make Roll20 have to force an initiation on them. You know, wow, that makes this game, the way this is going to be played out, really cool.
I'm excited for Roll20 though. With the Medivh, I really like their Medivh play so far. What I've seen from them when they used the Medivh was really cool. So I would hope that this is going to be one of the examples where they at least bring him to the end. Yeah, the setup is just too good. And that is an insane setup, by the way. That Li Ming is going to have a blast. When we have 10 and you see the setup through the Leyline Seal into an Apocalypse and Li Ming is just sitting there saying, here come the resets. Yeah. I don't know. This is going to be, this could be a very rough awakening for Naventic.
Yeah, I agree with you. Roll20 was given a little bit of everything, but Roll20 has done this for so long. Eventually, teams have to punish them, right? MVP Black just was like, you know, first game that we saw Roll20 play, absolutely obliterated Roll20. Everybody's like, they took out MVP Black in a dominant performance. Next time, they're like, take it. I dare you. And then MVP Black smashed Roll20, even with a composition almost identical to this one. So, you know, I just leave it as like Naventic expected this, or it would be naive to think that they didn't assume those would be the draft. So I'm just going to trust that, you know, they thought about it, that it's calculated enough, and they can deal with it.
Well, I'm excited for it for sure, because the last 2 maps were already interesting to say the least, really intense, and I want to see who takes the lead in the series now.
You know, I'm just, this Malthael, this Lunara, I'm ready to see it happen. We've got Poison, we've got Dots, Immortals Beware. We're ready to get into Battlefield of Eternity between Naventic and Roll20.
Let's jump in and take the game. Game number 3. The game is played on Battlefield of Eternity, and to the left we have Naventic with Zuna on Lunara, B-Kid on Anub'arak, big impact on Tacita, Tomsta on the Rhaegar this time, and once again we have Malthael in the game, played by iDream.
You know, in the red, it's going to be Roll20. I mean, you guys would be surprised to hear Glorong. It turns out he is in fact the Medivh player for this squad. Justing is going to be onto the Diablo. We've got Goku onto the Dahaka, which, by the way, I want to talk about in a second. Li Ming is going to be played by Prismaticism, and last year, always sadly last is the support. It's going to be Buds on Malfurion.
Intentionally, the support
yeah,
is
it's
last.
like just little plebs, dude. Supports are just heal bots, remember? But specifically with Dahaka players of Roll20, I was trying to talk about it before. Glorong, Yoda, and Prismaticism all played the Dahaka for Roll20 in phase number 1. Glorong, by far the weakest of the 3. So, since Goku's
damn, son, you went in on that.
I mean, it's just, it's very apparent. Like, Yoda, he started out not having necessarily the best performance onto the Dahaka, but eventually became insane at the hero. And then Prismaticism put on a really solid performance whenever we saw it there. But when we saw Glorong playing it, most of the time, he would get caught out. It's just, you know when Dahaka's side soaking and he's a little bit too far, and you're like, oh, there's no way he's making it out. Last game, Glorong barely got the burrow out. But that situation, he was dying, getting caught. And Goku is, in my opinion, probably the best Dahaka in North America. If not, he's real close. So anytime they draft that and he's not on that hero, I suddenly automatically feel Roll20 is miles behind. And I hope maybe he can provide the argument for you here, because Goku on Dahaka, he actually is Super Saiyan when he's on that hero. I'm not kidding. Last time he played it, like 25 drags, it seemed like he couldn't miss. It's gross. And so now I knew it was going to be into this game, but it's just every time we see Roll20 draft it, look on who's that hero, because it suddenly changes how good they are at playing around with it.
All right, I'm hyped up for it now. If he doesn't deliver, then it's your fault.
Oh, you know, you put Glorong on the pedestal, you put the money on the line. I'm doing it for Goku, but it's my own heart I'm putting out there, all right?
Glorong, that kid just has charisma.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Gets to me.
Yeah, he does.
I have the faith. You see that glow in his eyes when he's talking about the bright future of North America, and you just believe him. You want to give him your money.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, is North America falling so low that when you see us, you just feel like you have to give us money?
No, not in that sense.
My goodness.
Not it's like, oh my God, I need to
save North
support
America
this.
with 5 cents a day. In the words of Bo Burnham, you know, they eat pennies. Come on.
I could stream for charity. Save an A.
Oh, man.
That was not what I meant, by the way.
I know.
I was just saying he's very convincing and a charismatic person.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I agree. Glorong is not only a charismatic man, but I also would donate to Save North America. So
I would do that too. I live here now.
It's level 4. We're in Battlefield. There's been not too much action. A lot of stalling out when it comes to those lanes. We're yet to see whether or not Nature's Culling picked up for Zuna.
We also haven't seen any kills yet. The teams are just dancing around each other up to that point. But we have a Loon's Grace taken from Malfurion, so a little bit easier for him to really get some kind of setup, especially with the roots here, of course, compared to the build that we've seen before.
Roll20, when they approach this map, they love to play as slow as possible on the first Immortal. They almost always want to stall it out until the 7, 8, 9 level range. They love to gain. It's their best map. It's their second best map behind Infernal Shrines. And it's always when it comes to just side soak and getting experience advantages through things like the Dahaka or just proper rotations. It's almost always where they find themselves getting that advantage. So Naventic stalling out and being even in experience and even in Immortals roughly is actually really good. This is how Roll20 normally gains momentum.
Yeah, I mean, they have a slight lead already, so that Dahaka really coming online, and also Medivh soaking up to the top lane.
Yeah, it's just, this is what you can expect from them over and over again, forcing iDream to be able to get the respect and respond over to them. But again, Naventic is kind of okay with stalling out those timing too, because Malthael at level 1, he gets that early dot damage, but the Nature's Culling, if they go that route, is going to be a long while out. Zuna caught out of position. Justin goes in with the portal, and that is now a first blood for Roll20.
Fantastic engage by Justin here, getting the perfect stun against Lunara, and that was the dream. Of course, Naventic getting into a later stage would also be very happy, not only with the Lunara, also having the Malthael here, but that was Roll20 just all of a sudden flipping the switch and going all in on the kill.
I feel like if you have Medivh play coming out from Roll20 with the Diablo, they take For the Shadows at level 4 and they give you the portal. I mean, it's so like from the Shadows, it's like from a black hole at that point, right? Like he's just coming from half your screen. The lethality he provides is just absurd. And now we see Roll20 poking away, whittling away. Goku maybe caught out here. Let's see. Well, conveniently, shield and portal's there.
Yeah, gets still away, so definitely Medivh having his back here, allowing him to escape. But this is still a very solid Immortal that we have for Roll20. They have a massive amount of shields on this bad boy.
Wow, that is huge for them to be able to get that this early on. What do we see them get, though? They're going to be able to match it, pressuring out. Dahaka into a new Barak is a bit of a mismatch, especially with no beta barbs.
That was a really cool move there by Justin, but he doesn't get the stun. But they are still attempting to isolate iDream, and he eats a ton of free damage. And during all of this, they couldn't pressure the Immortal either. So they just lost a fair amount of time where they could have tried to take the Immortal down a notch, but that's not happening. And once again, big impact, super low. Tacita is dead. Roll20 is completely dominating this early stage here on Battlefield of Eternity, getting another kill against Malthael.
Yeah, and Goku came down just to say, what's up? I'm a part of this team too. Thompson scooting on out. It's only a matter of time here, man.
Do you really want to... Well, you don't even have to chase him. He is just sitting tight and saying, all right, take me down. That, I mean, he could have escaped. I mean, if he goes to the bottom right, then they have to make the choice if they push with the Immortal or chase the dog. I would go for the Immortal in that case.
I mean, you're right. There's a weird conundrum that kind of happens when somebody is inevitably going to die. That one, I can see the argument of like, is he truly going to? I'm not going to say yes or no because I feel like without the VOD breakdown, it's going to be a little bit too hard.
I mean, if they want him, he dies.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
The question is, do you actually want to chase a Rhaegar when you have still the chance to push with an Immortal if you have to sacrifice a huge amount of time? Because the death time is so low at this point, the staggered death doesn't matter to you.
Yeah, and so like how I view it is like, there's a lot of times where we see teams, especially very late game, will kind of dabble around. Hold on, is Naventic going to force this? This is the only fight that really can force pre-10. So it makes sense. They're going to go in. Immediately, Justin goes in, forcing the cleanse out of Naventic.
They still hold the point for now. We still have Li Ming firing away here. They get the stun against the Nubarak. They slammed a double kill and Nubarak down, and so is Rhaegar.
They can get a key.
Roll20. They have level 10 with this, and they're going in to get... This is just crazy. The portal plays on them.
The Porta plays, nice dimensional shift on out. I want to see Roll20 get this keep. They have a level and a half where they can dabble around this keep. They have another staggered death.
I am speechless.
I mean, they can do that, right? I want to say they can, but I've seen so many structures taken and then thrown on in North America this week that I don't know if I have faith anymore that this is a keep.
Well, Goku nearly died to a keep, so he might die here. Nope, they are still able to move out. But they put a lot of pressure on it for sure.
Fight them, you have 10.
They're chasing with 10. Just go around. Twilight Dream, we have it. And they start to move in. Here comes once again Diablo getting the kill against Malthael. There comes the APOC, gets the stun in, and they are still on the chase. Here comes the portal as Medivh, Glora, he allows them to retreat. Zuna chasing. They have no respect whatsoever. I still feel Roll20 should have gotten more.
Miles more. I mean, your opponent doesn't have necessarily a good disengaged style composition. Roll20 burnt APOC, Twilight Dream, Leyline Seal, everything but Disintegrate, and even Disintegrate had a use, and only one kill. Like, normally when they run this comp on even talent tiers into their opponents, they're getting 5-man wipes. And with 20 advantage, they're unable to do so.
They don't have the APOC as the follow-up here. The roots are too late, but they still get the kill against Tacita. 10 kills against 0, a 2-level lead, and level 11. Close to 10 for Naventic by now, but still, that Immortal, that should basically be 100% shield Immortal by now.
Yeah, Glarong, though, he's yet to finish his Master's Touch. He's closing in, sitting at 23 mark. Halfway is going to be kicked off. It's now, what can Naventic do with the window? They find themselves onto the same talent tier. You know, I would like to say that maybe they should force, but the last time they found themselves in these circumstances, Roll20 just clean shot.
Yeah, and down here, Malthael was trying to put some pressure on, but still.
I also didn't even talk about it, the fact that Naventic actually pulled away from the Nature's Calling, even though they have been the most persistent team in North America, sticking with it. I'm going to be honest, I love that they didn't go that route. I think Splintered Spirit is absolutely just so stinking good because it allows you to take Leaping Strike. That I'm glad that they didn't go that route, but it is surprising, you know, to see them pull away from that. Again, more adjustments from Naventic, not only drafting within roles, just all around a different team here from phase 1.
Tehaka putting the pressure onto the top lane after he just cleared the wave spot, so eventually Naventic will have to send someone back. They're trying to go and put some pressure on Li Ming for now, but Tehaka is now starting to move in. Naventic has a really good shot at just poking away against the Immortal, and they're doing that, but overall they're losing out on the lanes.
Yeah, they are losing out a bit here, and that's the experience side-soaking game here of Roll20. Justin goes in, Cleanse is going to be used. I Dream, not going to pop the Tormented Souls just yet. Deacon moves up, Portal is going to be laid out. Leyline Seal is used, APOC's followed up.
And there we go, Ken try and get the kill here. Resets coming in for Li Ming. They are attempting to kill Justin though, and he is extremely low, gets barely saved by Medivh for now, but Zuna is not letting up. Neither is Inubarak. BK gets 1 kill, tries to go for Malf, gets the second. Tomstar fighting against Li Ming. He's down. That is just kills all over the place.
And Prismaticism doesn't have enough mana to turn it.
And Lunara and Li Ming are both falling. and we have a 3 versus 2 on the map in favor
What is
of
happening?
Naventic.
Everybody's battling, dude. Look at this.
Another one.
Goku comes back. He's like,
off.
I got you. Gets the passive movement. He's going to move up. No mana for B-Kid. Drag not even necessary. See ya, nerd. Dino on Robot. He's going to take that win. And in the end,
We have 19 kills in 11 minutes.
feels good, man.
This
Battling.
is crazy. This is just 1 versus 1s all over the place. Nobody's talking 5 versus 5 anymore.
No. No,
Melvia.
that would require you to have your entire team alive at the same time as your opponents, and we don't have that because Justin goes in, he stuns Tomster. That's, again, going to be 1 dead pupper, and now
17 kills to 4. 17. 12 minutes into the match.
love it, man. Absolutely love it. Roll20, though they may have not gotten the keep we asked of them earlier, they do get the Immortal here.
We get fireworks. That's what we are getting. And Roll20 gets the Immortal. So with that, they can go through the top. This game, and they're not stopping. They want more. They want the 20 kill
Leyline.
counts.
APOC.
And boom! And down goes Lunara. That's the reset. Burns down the cocoon that Anubarak throws out. Can they get iDream? They're trying to get the drag, but we have Hasadar getting the force wall in first.
Okay, now keep in mind there is an Immortal pushing away up onto top while this attention is being drawn towards bottom. And this is going to be not only a keep, the members of Naventic now questioning if they had the ability to contest, but without the 13th talent here and not having the Lunara, eventually they forfeit it. Now, what's Roll20 going to do? Looks like they just full retreat. I'd like them to move up the core and start taking free damage. 4 people committed to that Immortal early on. You have vision of them the whole time. Lunara with Splinter Spear chase potential maybe is not worth the risk of moving up, but anytime I can force my opponent to back and respond to me, I'll take it.
Wow, Zuna.
Fresh Prince, man.
If he wants, he is pulling in the moves.
Yeah.
That was insane. Dodges the tongue with a leap, then Diablo tries to stun him. He's just, see ya, I'm back out of there. He jumped into 5 of them and said, yeah, you're still not going to touch me.
Yeah, you know, Zuna and K1 Pro both have had an amazing showing. Sadly, that's not the way you want to...
Oh, that just feels bad.
Apparently my throat just died. That's not the way you want to approach that. I was going to say here for Roll20, there's a weird phenomenon that happens. Normally when you gank in Heroes of the Storm, you go, I want to be behind them to cut off their escape, especially with body blocks. But anybody who has a point and click escape over top of you, like Malthel, Lunara, Chen is another great one that you lose 100% of the time you do that. Dropping a portal to be like, yo, this is when we kill him, is sometimes like a, yo, this is when we let him escape. So, you know, maybe a little bit here more careful. That time we had 2 seconds away from Lunara escape, but something that Roll20 might have to consider.
I mean, Roll20 now is 3 levels at. Level 16 versus 13. They have 19 kills against 4. We see them with the keep destroyed at the bot lane. They still have both of their forts, and they are just sieging away up at the top as another Immortal is announced on the map. It is very reminiscent of the situation we found ourselves in on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Yeah, it very much is. It's just whether or not Roll20 allows that same window. You know, this map is not nearly as forgiving as Tomb when it comes to those circumstances. Also because the objective and win conditions are not just hard to find. They are always persistent and consistent.
All right, so
this is not optimal.
They are attempting to take the camp up here. Wasting a bit of time fighting for the Immortal at the same time too. The halftime show, they actually allowed Team Naventic to get a fair chunk of hit points away from their own Immortal, just because they want to get the pressure out of the top lane.
I actually don't mind this because they have the global advantage and because they have 16 talent tier advantage and pressure through the keep on bottom. Splitting this pressure up on top, knowing you can dance around this Immortal right now, is actually a really nice win condition. They can just essentially afford a free keep. Nice stun.
Nice stun, but the Ancestral comes through.
It does come through. Nice leap over there from Zuna. Portal's going to be laid by Glarong. Justin, does he want to go in? Force Wall is going to pretty much force him to.
Yeah, at this point, they still are on the way back, but the camp is starting to get value at the top lane. Bot lane is also heavily pushing, and that's several catapults already stacking up. But Roll20 is losing hit points on their Immortal. Naventic pushing this, but they need to respond to the top, and that's where Zuna is hopping right now.
Yeah, that was that window that we were talking about here. iDream will be able to escape there. Glorong showing mercy. Drag's going to land for Goku. Burrow is going to be here, but Twilight Dream is used, locks it down. That is now 1, 2, 3, baby.
They get the triple kill and they immediately go for Tomster. They can go to the bot lane. This has to be it. The 3 catapults are already on the core, working at the shield, and Roll20 is just simply moving in. 22 kills against 4. There is no way they let this slip past them. They are pressuring Zuna already. Justing is not getting anywhere near close to the damage dealers. And this is Roll20 taking the lead in the series with a 2-1, dropping the core on Battlefield of Eternity against Naventic.
A favorite map for Roll20 and showing why, getting a very early advantage and essentially never letting it go. So now we've gotten Tomb and we've gotten BOE out of the way. Infernal Shrines, man, I can't even remember off the top of my head if that was banned. I don't believe it was. So it's still one map where most teams consider it, don't let Roll20 kind of have that. And so that makes me scared still here for the odds of Naventic.
Naventic came in swinging with the first map, but ever since then, I think they actually started strong and then fell off with every map a little bit more. You can make the counter argument that Roll20 just came in and apparently underestimated what was happening there and stepped it up from there. But if Naventic wants to break that, they need to show a completely different game right now, because that did certainly not go their way.
Yeah, and you know, the Naventic has picked up a lot of Malthel, and questioning where that ends up falling into the value. They're sticking with it even after having kind of mixed success here. But we asked a lot of North American teams and European players on what their thoughts on Malthel was, where he fell